What the hell? Shoot, get out of here. What the hell is going on here? Oh my god. Oh boy, the Pteraxii. An inch wide but several miles deep. It's a bit wild just how inconspicuous these silly little bat boys are. They are one of the most critical units in our army due to their utility, and while there are many elites in our army that are interchangeable play pieces, the Pteraxii fit this mold yet still stand out in a unique way. While there's a lot to tackle here, the datasheets between both flavors are exactly the same, and the weapons are pretty uninteresting. Due to that, let's just go over the stats, weaponry, and abilities on face value, and then we can really dig into what they can do. The Pteraxii have a very similar stat block to that of the Caesarians, the most notable difference being their huge movement of 12 inches, while still retaining a 4 toughness, a save of 4 with a 5+ invuln, 2 wounds each, leadership 7, and OC 1. The Pteraxii still have the keyword infantry, while also boasting the keyword fly, which allows them to continuously move through bases and take advantage of their speed without having to move around any sort of terrain. First, the Skystalkers. These dudes have some extremely mediocre firepower, with the squad being equipped with flechette carbines, having 18-inch range, 6 attacks each at ballistic skill 4+, strength 3, 0 AP, and 1 damage. These guys also don't have any melee weapons. The leader, however, has a flechette blaster, being a pistol carbon copy of the carbine, with less range and less attacks overall, but he does carry a taser goad. What helps the Skystalker stand out after seeing their wet noodle of a damage capability is the fact that they're the only unit in our army to have grenades and deep strike. Additionally, their ability Ride the Thermals is one that can define your capabilities as a skilled Admech player. In your shooting phase, after the Skystalkers have shot, they can make a normal move up to 6 inches or up to 12 if they are wholly within 6 inches of a Mechanicus battle line unit. If it does so, it cannot declare a charge, and this ability cannot be done while in engagement range. Basically, it's a 6-inch shoot and scoot, up to double the distance if they end up near battle line. While the 12-inch move is pretty insane, 6-inch shoot and scoot base is fantastic, and can be utilized to move up 12 inches with their base movement, then shoot, then get a screen in someone's face up to 6 inches, or ways to be able to get that last bit of movement into an objective that they couldn't otherwise make. Being able to move these guys around while also utilizing deep strike for positions you wouldn't normally be able to get into allows for a plethora of movement shenanigans to be pulled off, even making Eldar players blush. Sterylizors, on the other hand, are a lot more straightforward and honest about what they do, despite not doing it as well as other flamer units in the game. I suppose you can say they at least have strength 4 flamers instead of strength 3. Not much to say about the alpha here, as he has the same loadout as the Skystalker alpha, but the squad is equipped with phosphor torches, typical flamer profiles of ignore cover and torrent with standard 12-inch range, strength 4, 0 AP, and 1 damage. These guys have deep strike just like their brothers, but also have the ability Searing Conflagration, which allows them to reroll wound rolls of 1 when they are targeting an enemy unit within range of an objective marker, or up to full rerolls to wound if a Sterilizer is also within 6 inches of a battle line unit. Kinda sucks that these guys have an inferior ability of something like Tormentors, Legionaries, Rubric Marines, or Tau Breacher teams, but this is the state of Admech, I guess. Now with this is where we get into all the utility that the Pteraxii can use with their stratagems. Firstly, Rapid Ingress is a great stratagem with most deep strike units in the game, and that sentiment is still true here. With the Sterilizors, this works well if you see an impending charge that you can threaten Overwatch with, allowing an emergency wall of flame to be deployed and deter any hasty movements by your opponent. Alternatively, the Skystalkers can set themselves up in cover to be able to move an incredible amount during the following turn. As was covered before, Skystalkers would be able to move 12 inches, up to 6 inches with an advance, or a guarantee 6 with the Rad Zone's Aggressor Imperative stratagem, and then another 6 or up to an additional 12 in the following shooting phase with Ride the Thermals. Another thing worth noting is how Skystalkers cannot be overwatched in their shoot and scoot, which makes them an uncounterable, out of phase movement to guarantee the contest of screens and objectives. Both also enjoy the expedited purge protocol in Skitari Hunter cohort, allowing them to get in a charge with their fast speed and advance rolls to create the bird jail that much faster. Just note that you can't shoot and scoot and charge with the Skystalkers. Both also enjoy bionic endurance so that they can bank on keeping an enemy still in combat by forcing the enemy to get through an invuln save and a feel no pain. Programmed Withdraw, yet another Skitari Hunter cohort strat, allows you to pick up a Pteraxii unit and deep strike them where you need them to go. For the Skystalkers specifically, the grenade strat is one of their biggest appeals, giving out army access to some mortal wounds and slightly anti-large capabilities. They are one of the few, and if I remember correctly, the only unit in the army to have grenades. Neural Overload in the Halos Creed Battleclade is also one where, at the risk of a possible model, you can give a block of Skystalkers an extra Halo override, say +2 move and stealth while dashing into an enemy, or giving an additional toughness and advance and charge to get into a slugfest with a melee unit, like Chosen, and make their accursed weapons wound on 4s instead of 3s, and hold back any aggressive units. Lethal Dosage in Radzone Core is one that can be considered at times, considering that they have a pretty hefty weight of shots, especially when doubling the size of the squad, giving up to 59 attacks lethal hits to pepper any enemies with chip damage for a weapon that has very low strength but very high volume. As with Sterilizors, they synergize really well if they can be targeting an objective, while also baiting the Conqueror imperative to benefit from full wound rerolls and AP-1 from nearby battle line, making them rather efficient if you can meet all these requirements. Guided Retreat from Halos Creed is also pretty great, since Sterilizors have their Talons as a melee profile, and thus one higher strength than their other variant. They can then flame, charge, attack, and then the following turn do it all over again, back to back, and be a huge nuisance to multiple units, while not having to dedicate a Halo override keyword to them for the strat to work effectively. Binaric Offense in the Skitari Hunter cohort, while pricey, can make a deadly shooting phase if you drop Sterilizors within Doctrina range of some Vanguards, and giving both Vanguards and Sterilizors -1 AP on top of their strat -1 AP for a total of -2 AP, and also giving them full wound rerolls if firing into an objective. It's just a really big, expensive, and kind of mediocre bomb of damage. The birds are some amazing units for utility, and are carried by the fact of how unique they are in the ranks of our army, while being the few to only units to hold grenades and have deep strikes. While they are still tied to their battle line stipulations to become more effective, and being a bit counterintuitive since they ideally want to deep strike out of range of other friendly units, they function fine just on their own. I personally run at least one of either flavor in any list, if just to do secondaries that I otherwise wouldn't be able to do. They can be really good action monkeys with their high movement to get into place, or they can be aggressive and quickly close the distance into your enemies to be an annoying wall of 5+ invuln save, 2 wound bodies. That about wraps up our dive into the Pteraxii. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content here today, and if you'd like to support even more, check out the Patreon to be able to participate in monthly giveaways. This month, we actually reached 1,000 subscribers, so the giveaway will be a combat patrol of the winner's choice. Be sure to stay tuned for that on the 15th of this month. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Until next time. A big thank you to all my Patreon followers in the Engine Seeker tier, and a huge shout out to the Fabricator tiers with 3x01, Sig Lawson Jr., Dr. Jones, Makito, Mula, Outlast and Magos, Sekartor, Snoofalufagus, and Tech Priest Horn. Thank you guys.